So yeah, let me tell you a reason to be thankful for the narcissist Jezebel in your life. Because think about it. If you didn't experience that, you wouldn't know it even existed as a thing, you know? So let's say you marry one of them. What they're going to do, when you see through them, they're going to start to do the behind the scenes manipulation, right? And you're going to see which family member, which friend. They already know, they know your character, right? They know that you have good character and your motive is pure, right? Because they've been around you your whole life, and they know that. So then when the narcissist Jezebel comes on the scene, so you marry her. And I guess if you dated somebody like that for a long time too, you didn't have to marry them, but if you dated them, and so then over time, the narcissist Jezebel is trying to create flying monkeys from your friends, your family, your acquaintances or whatever. And then that narcissist Jezebel creates so much chaos and drama and pulls people against you who were never against you before, who were actually egging you on to be a part of this person's life or whatever. You know, some of them would have said, wait a minute, you don't do that. There's always a few that say, don't marry that one, because they can see through the game, you know. But when you're young, you don't understand how bad it can be, and how bad some people are. I mean, deep down, there's people that hate when you prosper. There's people that hate that you have peace. There's people that hate your faith. There's people who hate that you're in union with God and they're not, right? They have no peace in the inner man. And so you're just going about your business, doing your thing, and they see you moving up in their mind, you know. To you, it's not really moving up. You're just being you, being normal, you know. But they're vampires because that's all they know. They're vagrant vampires. They're vagabonds. And so these vagabonds have to make you look like the vagabond and them look like the saint. But after enough times, people start to wake up. But the ones that choose to go with the narcissist frame, they frame reality, the reality of the narcissist instead of truth. Then you know these people were always wanting you to be defeated. They were always against you. They were never on your team. It just took the narcissist Jezebel to reveal it. It's like a litmus test, you know. Birds of a feather flock together. So you got these people around you that you're not yoked up with anyway. You might be related to them or friends with them. But then you yoke up with one of their kind, but you thought it was a normal person, right? You thought they had a good heart and all that. And then you start to see the friends or family or acquaintances or whatever, you start to see when they were creating the drama, they jumped in on it. Instead of calling them out and say, hey, I know that person. That's a good person. They wouldn't hurt a fly. They wouldn't hurt a flea. They have no bad intentions for anybody. But they've tried to flip reality. They're the ones with the bad intention, but they wanted to flip it onto you. And these other people who were covert narcissistic demons joined in with that person. Instead of hearing both sides and and seeing through it, they just jumped in on the attack. So if one person's attacking you, these other people who were afraid to attack you and say it overtly, they were always covertly hating you. And so then one starts to come at you and they all get brave and come after you. And then when you start speaking up, They run. When you run the Jezebel off, when you kick her out, kick her to the curb, then where'd everybody else go? They proved their loyalty was to the liar because they're liars. You know, they proved their loyalty was to the covert narcissist because they're covert narcissists. And where'd they go? They disappear. When you turn the light on, the darkness flees, right? So when you wake up to the fact, so this is a process. It takes years. It might take 5 or 10 years, or maybe a lifetime. It might take you a lifetime, but when you finally wake up to it, you can be thankful for the narcissist, the demon in the narcissist, because that hive mind is the demonic hive mind. And that hive, they're all following the queen bee syndrome. And that queen bee syndrome can never look at themselves, can never admit wrong, can never look in, can never be introspective, can never take responsibility. They can't. They have to project it out. And if you call them out on it, well, you're just like this person. You're just like your uncle. You're just like your dad. You're just like blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. You got people drinking and drugging, alcoholics, stealing, lying, running the streets, and they try to project that onto you. That ain't me. Who you talking about? Yourself? And so they always try to project something that's not you, that's actually from them onto you. And it continues. And so it never ends because the hive never goes away, because the flesh mind is the hive. And you might say, well, how did these people learn how to manipulate and do all this stuff and do all this evil and make themselves look good? They learned it from a child. They learned it from their parents. They learned it from just growing. They live that way their whole life. That's their survival mode. That's how they survive. They don't have faith in God. They don't trust Jesus. They don't walk by faith. They walk by sight. And so how can they change if they have no faith, if they have no truth? They might say a little saying that you've heard somebody say, you know, but is it a part of them? You can hear a preacher say, hey, walk in the Spirit. But if you talk to him long enough, he tries to put you back under legalism. How can it be real if he's trying to put you back under law? He just is a parrot. The narcissist Jezebel preacher is a parrot. They're just parrots. Seminary told them to say it, but it's not really a part of them. It's not even real. Because it can't be real because they don't even know what it means. They don't know what it means. They haven't digested it. It hasn't become a part of them. So until you learn to walk in the Spirit, you don't even know what it means. Somebody can beat you over the head and tell you all day long. Apostle Paul said, it's no longer I that live, but Christ lives in me, right? Do you really want to live in a 3D clay, water, foolish? Look at these creatures. All they speak is foolishness. All they want to do is have fun. It's never about truth. It's never about anything that's eternal. It's all about the next football game, the next drink that they can swallow, you know, it's the next person they can pursue. There's no eternal truth in them or desire. It's all temporal. And if it's all temporal, it's going to burn up. Why do you want to be like them? They're just going to burn.